This week, as they say on a popular TV show, we're taking you to court. Good evening and welcome to Red's Classic Theaters. We come to you from the third floor of the Vancouver Art Gallery, formerly the Vancouver Courthouse. Now, much of the building has changed, but the courtrooms have been retained for use as concert and lecture halls. And that's where we are for tonight's film, the 1949 courtroom comedy Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, and Judy Holliday. Holliday was extremely nervous working with the two high-powered stars, but she received a lot of moral support, especially from Katharine Hepburn. The screenplay, written by Garson Kanin and Ruth Gordon, was inspired by the strange but true-to-life circumstances surrounding the divorce of their friend Raymond Massey from his actress wife. His ex-wife married her lawyer, and Massey married the lawyer's ex-spouse. Sounds like a movie. It is. Here's Act One of Adam's Rib. We're at the Vancouver Art Gallery this week, formerly the city's courthouse, and a great setting for tonight's movie, Adam's Rib. George Cukor directed tonight's film and elected to go on location to New York City. He felt that the city would give a great backdrop and more of a documentary feeling to the movie. It also allowed Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn to spend more time together. Hepburn had a house in Manhattan, and Tracy stayed nearby at the Waldorf. Now, this meant the two could walk to work together. Of course, by this time, Tracy, a married man, and Hepburn had been linked romantically for 8 years. Their intimate friendship was an open secret. Tracy's marriage to Louise Treadwell continued in name only. But as a devout Roman Catholic, he would never consider divorcing her. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn appeared in 9 movies together, and Spencer Tracy always insisted on top billing. Once he was asked if he had ever heard the expression, ladies first. He responded by saying, "This is a film, not a lifeboat." We'll be back with more in a moment. This courtroom setting in the Vancouver Art Gallery is completely authentic and very popular with the various TV productions going on in our city. As a matter of fact, you can see this courtroom in the series The Commish and the other series Round Table. This courtroom became so popular with Cano Films that they actually had it reproduced in their studios on the North Shore. And now back to the courtroom comedy, Adam's Rib. Hope you're enjoying Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn in Adam's Rib on Red's Classic Theater. George Cukor, who directed tonight's film, was a fanatic about realism. For example, he asked the writers to contribute not only the main dialogue, but also the small talk going on between characters in the background. In addition, George Cukor insisted on authenticity when it came to courtroom dialogue and people involved in a trial. Though he was making a comedy, he researched by attending a murder trial for several days before he started shooting the picture. Cukor also hired the talents of songwriter Cole Porter to compose a theme for the picture. Before doing so, Porter insisted that Katharine Hepburn's name in the movie be changed from Madeline to Amanda because it was easier to rhyme. But the song Farewell to Amanda was judged as one of Cole Porter's few clinkers. As a matter of fact, some critics insisted that he wrote it at a bus stop. And now let's return to Adam's Rib. Last week in our mailbag segment, we gave away tickets to the new film from director Ridley Scott and Paramount Pictures, 1492, Conquest of Paradise. Well, this week we continue our promotion of the film by offering you the chance to win a $1,500 blue topaz. Now, this comes from Fawcett Gems in Edmonton and Chemainus. Now, it's cut in a new and patented Maltese cross pattern to commemorate Columbus's voyage of discovery. Now, for your chance to win, just send us your name and address and phone number to 1492 in care of Television 12. Now, that's our regular Red's Classic Theater address, so make sure you mark the envelope 1492. The winner of this great prize will be notified by mail. And now let's have a look at our mailbag. Hilda Lane from Langley called us to make sure we'd received her written request to see Inn of the Sixth Happiness, starring Kurt Jurgens and Ingrid Bergman. And please understand that each and every one of your requests that you send in are kept on file, and eventually we'll get around to playing your favorite movie. But thank you for your interest. And now, let's return to Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Hope you're enjoying Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn on Red's Classic Theater. In his long career behind the camera, George Cukor was really described as primarily a woman's director, a label that annoyed him. However, he was able to draw exceptional performances from some of Hollywood's leading ladies. Among them, the great Garbo in Camille, Katharine Hepburn in The Philadelphia Story, Joan Crawford in A Woman's Face, and Ingrid Bergman in Gaslight. It was his handling of Hepburn's role in The Philadelphia Story that returned her to Hollywood's good graces. Only a short time earlier, RKO Studios had branded her box office poison after a couple of movies that flopped. George Cukor had his own tremendous disappointment when he was fired as the director of the 1939 blockbuster film Gone with the Wind. But he rebounded and became one of Hollywood's best-loved directors. He treated actors with respect and dignity. And now let's return to Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy. From the Vancouver Art Gallery in the third-floor courtroom, time for our movie trivia quiz. In 1981, at the age of 81, director George Cukor made his final film. Can you name it? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our trivia question. The last film for director George Cukor was the 1981 drama Rich and Famous. This movie starred Jacqueline Bisset and Candice Bergen. And now, let's return to Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed Adam's Rib, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. And join us next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater as Sylvester Stallone reprises his role as Rocky the Fighter in Rocky III. In the meantime, if you have a request for a motion picture, a classic that you'd like to see, or the suggestion of a location somewhere in Vancouver or in British Columbia or Washington State, write to yours truly, Red Robinson, in care of Television 12. And thanks to Robin Naiman and the Vancouver Art Gallery for the use of the courtroom for our show tonight. Join us next Sunday night for Rocky III, starring Sylvester Stallone, Burgess Meredith, and Mr. T. Until then, see you in court.